SEC football live on the 440 Sports Network. Trey Wallace from Outkick.com. I am Braden Gall, brought to you by Tennessee Brew Works. One of the best meals you will ever have at a brewery in the history of your life. Those are just facts. Trey, what's up, man? How are you?
Man, I'm good, dude. I'm good. It's been a busy week, and then you had that AFCA decided to put out their stuff just to get people all stirred up because they have actually no power. So all the assistant coaches and the coaches out there and the GAs, whatever, no power. So
Yeah.
Everything's good, man. Just I don't know. I think we got a lot to discuss heading into spring meetings, but more importantly, stuff on the field.
Yeah, I want to just it feels like in the offseason, Trey, all we talk about is like the earth, the tectonic plates shifting underneath the sport at all times. And I just want to take a second and be like, hey, who do you think's going to win this year?
Right. I know.
We're guessing at this. When I've been doing the anonymous scouting reports for I used to do them for Athlon Sports. They used to be heavily layered and laced with scheme analysis and breaking down a quarterback's strengths and weaknesses, or man, their running game is this, or man, when they get in the red zone, they love to do this on defense. Like really interesting in the weeds analysis of teams. And now because none of these coaches and administrators and assistant coaches who we used to use to get those reports know anything about their opponents or their own roster for that matter. Although maybe there are some who are doing it a little bit differently. And certainly Georgia, for example, is trying to build. They use the portal, but they still are doing it in a little bit of a different way, maybe more old school. So maybe Kirby knows a lot more about his team, or opposing coaches know more. We just know a lot less inside the buildings and in the media. And so I just wanted to get your kind of set the stakes now that spring practice and whatever you want to call spring games and everything else is behind us. I want to set this, like, I've got betting odds. I don't really think that's important necessarily, but it is a framework that's relative to all these teams. I just want to get some power rankings from you. I want to work our way through all 16 teams. I want to organize them into some sort of like loose ranking structure so that we kind of know what we're dealing with going into the spring, if that's okay with you.
I mean, it's your show.
All right. So obviously, if you are watching on YouTube, you can chime in. You can have comments there. You can thumbs up, share the show, notifications turned on. If you're watching on Twitter or Facebook, please make sure you share the product as well. Get some folks in here. We will take questions if you want to get involved. We're actually live today. Normally we're not live, but we are today. So I figured we'd invite some questions if you want to join. Tennessee Brew Works is right downtown. It's on Ewing Avenue, right near Third Man Records in downtown Nashville. It is a fantastic place to go with the family. They got live music. It's great to go pregame with the boys if you're going to go do something downtown and on Broadway, going to a Nashville SC match in Wedgwood, Houston. It is a fantastic place to go hang. They got the upstairs. They got the outdoor patio. They got the inside with the music. They got great food. The beer is spectacular. So go check out Tennessee Brew Works and go hang out at a local tap room as well. Yazoo Brewing Company, East Nashville Beer Works. They're all part of this local tap room push in Nashville, Tennessee. It is good for your health to go share a couple beers with somebody, either you know or you don't know.
And even if you're down there for the races at the Speedway.
Yeah, that's true. Could be coming.
I got to give love to the Speedway. I know there's been some stuff going on in Nashville with the Speedway, but I got to give love to the Speedway.
I know going there. I know way more about that than you think I do.
No. I'm not surprised by that. I look, man. When I was
racing is coming back. Racing is coming back.
Yes, I used to go there every weekend during the summer for my uncle. He'd win a trophy. I would run around like an idiot. Yes, I loved it.
All right, so there's only 2 teams in the SEC that have 9.5 over/under win totals. I'm just going to use one random offshore betting site to kind of just use. I'm not saying that these numbers are right or wrong. I'm just using it to kind of put everybody into one place and for consistency purposes.
I'm changing my VPN right now just to be able to pull this up where you got this.
Georgia, it's on the internet, man. Georgia's at 9.5. Texas is at 9.5. No other teams are at 9.5. Again, that's just an over/under for win total, which means there's as good a chance for them to win 10 or 11 games as there is to win 8 or 9. But I think, George, is there any other team that is in the group on the top of the conference right now after spring practice, and kind of getting a better look at the depth charts, starting to look at schedules as well, which is, we're still a ways off. Do you have anybody else on the top tier? Is it just Georgia and Texas that you would consider right now? Hey, Who can win a national championship? Who can win the SEC championship? Who do you like on that top tier?
I mean, I really want to put LSU in there, but the problem is that I don't know Sam Levitt's full health right now. Like, I think he's going to be ready to go. You know what I mean? So I just going off talent and what's on the roster. And I'm not trying to look. Lane Kiffin deserves the expectations. But what I'm saying is that it's hard to base it off. I know all the college programs are dealing with new players, but I'm saying with LSU, they brought in so much talent. So LSU is one I kind of want to put in that top realm. I think right underneath it, though, I know we're about to get to this. Texas A&M could easily, in my opinion, with Marcel Reed, be in the conversation. And I also think that from a top to bottom, don't shy away from Ole Miss. But I guess I say
now you're into the second tier.
No. But I'm saying there is such a line right there. Like,
okay. So I want to get to that group.
I don't disagree with you on Georgia and Texas. I will give you that because I think Texas is going to be a force this year. And we can start saying that now about Arch Manning and not get destroyed for hype.
So you have Texas at number 1.
Yeah, Georgia would be number 2.
I would have Georgia at 1, Texas at 2, but I don't really have a problem with your argument. Here's the thing I was thinking about too, studying Texas's offensive depth chart.
Yeah.
I feel like I don't think it's going to be 2019 LSU, but I feel like it could go that direction. Meaning like we're going to undervalue the quality of the entire offense because I think this will be Steve Sarkisian's most talented offense ever.
I watched Sam Coleman do like a 360 dunk last night on social media. Like I'm stoked for
they may have the number 1 left tackle in the country, the number 1 quarterback in the country, and the number 1 receiver in the country.
Yes.
That's ridiculous. Hey. I got a chime for that. I like that.
You did get a chime because I got some. I sent somebody a text saying, "Hey, send me the updated odds," because I was having trouble finding it, and I found it. So I think that when you look at Texas, I agree with you along the offensive line. I think defensive line is going to be there. I think at the same time you have Arch Manning with so many different weapons, and Sarkisian bringing in. It's not talked about enough. Sarkisian bringing in Muschamp. I think is going to do wonders on that side of the ball. Honestly,
is he the future head coach in waiting?
Man, has there ever been a coach and assistant in college football history that's been named twice the head coach in waiting and not got the job?
I don't know. That's a great question. So, like, I totally get. I have no problem with Texas. I think those 2 are the top 2. And to my original question, I don't think there's a third team that I could include that I would say I can put you at number 1. I think there's a lot of teams I could put at number 3.
Yes,
and we can make a really good we can have a really good discussion about that, and we're about to. But I think my argument with Georgia over Texas is just pure in-house continuity and Kirby just like willing his team to another level of physicality and production, in particular on defense. There's no comparison on offense. Texas is better on offense. I think there's a chance Georgia has one of the best, if not the best, defense in the country. And if that's the case, then I think you could see them being better than Texas. So I don't know. I would be kind of surprised if it wasn't Georgia and Texas in the SEC championship game. As if that game matters anymore. But
no, I'm so over that conference. Whatever. I'm not going to do it. I ain't going to do it.
Don't do it then. Don't do it.
I don't disagree, but I think there's going to be somebody from that second tier that actually makes the title game. I know that's not some outlandish take or anything like that.
That makes sense. I mean, it happened last year, right?
I know that, but I don't think it's Georgia or I could see Georgia slipping up.
Okay.
Twice, 3 times, and not making the title game. So
when you work your way down to the second tier, what's interesting is I think it's interesting. I think it's of note the 3 teams that you picked out.
I really want to play some bets on this right now too, but go ahead.
I would take the over on. So here's the thing: the next 3 teams over under 8.5 are Texas A&M, LSU, and Alabama. But I have Alabama at 7. I moved them down 3. I moved them down behind some teams because I actually I did all this before I looked at the odds. I put my rankings together before I looked at the odds.
Okay.
I have Texas A&M at 3. I have LSU at 4. And I have Ole Miss at 5. I have Oklahoma 6 and Alabama 7. But I think that group of 5 teams, A&M, LSU, Ole Miss, Oklahoma, and Alabama, I think those 5 are on the next tier, and any of them can make the playoff. I think any of them can do it. Alabama, but for some reason, I have Alabama at the bottom of that tier. We can talk about Bama in a second, but I like A&M, LSU, and Ole Miss too. And those are the 3 I ranked at the top of my group, and those are the 3 that you just mentioned as well. I just think Kiffin, with the number 1 transfer portal class, an already well-recruited roster foundationally, you add in Kiffin, I just think LSU is going to be dangerous right away. I don't know if they're like 10-2 good, but they're going to be good right away.
So but you dropped Alabama. I want to get this right. You dropped Alabama to 7.
I think 7 and 3 are the same, though, is what I'm trying to say. Like, I think all 5 of these teams are in one tier together.
Okay.
Talk me through, but you picked the same 3. You picked the same 3.
I like LSU with a bigger win total than Alabama this year. I would put LSU around 9 or 10. Again,
LSU's a 3.5-point favorite at home against Bama right now on paper.
At home, okay, yeah, okay.
On paper.
Texas A&M, man, if they finally get it from Marcel, that gives me hope for that defensive side also to be able to stand up. Like that's the thing that was kind of missing at times, especially towards the end of last season, was the defensive side. I remember we got into a huge argument about who's the better head coach from a CEO standpoint. Well, I said Mike Elko. I think that and that caught some flack. I look at would you flip-flop? Let me ask you this. Would you flip-flop Alabama and A&M when it comes to win totals?
Like they're both 8.5 according to
no. Well, you said, but you threw out the 7, so that's fine. And I think I know.
Well, so this is what according to again, just for consistency purposes, A&M, LSU, Alabama 8.5. Yeah. Ole Miss and Oklahoma 7.5. There are 2 other teams, Tennessee and Florida, that also have 7.5, but I think they're on a different tier. I think they're a lower tier, and that's the gambling element of all of this, which is people are going to see Tennessee, they're going to see Florida, and they're going to jump on the over, and that's going to drive it up, when really I don't think they're on the same level as Ole Miss and Oklahoma, in my opinion.
Here's the question I'll ask you. Out of those teams right there in the tier, who do you think could be playing in Atlanta for an SEC title?
I think all of them could. I think the one that has the most questions to me is Alabama.
I agree.
Like, new quarterback, new offensive line, new receivers, new tight end, new running back, other than Ryan Williams. Everything is new on offense. I do trust Kalen DeBoer to get a good offense, but they couldn't run the football at all last year. Keelan Russell versus Austin Mack. They also lost like 4 or 5 players off the defense to the draft. They're very talented. The roster is very talented. And Kalen DeBoer knows what he's doing on offense with Ryan Grubb. I'm looking at this, and you got Oklahoma has an established star coming back at quarterback.
Agreed.
A bunch of good transfers. Ole Miss has an established star coming back at quarterback with Lacey in the backfield. I think Ole Miss is going to trend down eventually. I don't think that's this year.
No.
LSU, I'm buying into the Kiffin-Levitt LSU. I'm just buying into some. I know it's all new, and so that's a question, and I'm okay with LSU people or people who have an anti-LSU stance in this conversation.
A lot of that's because they haven't looked at the damn roster and they just look at the head coach and hate him.
Look, A&M lost a few premier pieces, like Trey Zune is gone, Casey Concepcion off the offense. And I think really the bigger question is, like, I trust Elko. You know, you lose Cassius Howell, some other names, but, like, I trust Elko to have a really good defense. Bigger question there is, like, new coordinators with Marcel Reed. Can they do the next thing? I think the one that, if you want to, like, ask questions, A&M is, I think, the one you can poke holes in.
Yes.
And maybe I shouldn't have them at 3. Maybe I should have LSU at 3. But I think all 5 of these teams could play in Atlanta. I think all 5 of them can make the playoff. I think all 5 of them are very talented. Alabama, to me, still has by far the most questions. And I think the most pressure of anybody in this group. There's no pressure on Kiffin. Like, eventually there will be, but not right now.
Well, okay. You say
Kalen DeBoer could be fired this year.
Say that in November if LSU is sitting with 3 losses.
I hear you, man. But, like, if they go 9-3, that would be the over for their win total. That might get him into the playoff, and it would be a sign that, like, Lane Kiffin has done a good job in year 1. Like, I don't think why is that the problem?
I don't think that's the problem. I'm saying we're talking about comparisons here. You kind of brought up the LSU and the Alabama thing. I don't.
They're not firing Lane Kiffin this year if he has a bad
No,
year.
they're
They
not.
could fire. They
I
could
know,
fire Kalen DeBoer.
They can't afford. I was about to, yeah, they can't afford. By the way, Governor Landry, Kalen DeBoer has the most pressure, in my opinion.
That's right.
Of a top 8 team in the conference heading into this season to win immediately. I know he just got that fat extension, which, okay, fine. You announce it 4 months later. Found that intriguing. Ole Miss, there's reasons why too. Ole Miss to me is the sneaky pick here. I love the offense.
Okay.
I think they have it on the defensive side. I trust Pete Golding with the defense. And at the same time, I am curious to see what an Ole Miss team looks like with a full-time official head coach and Pete Golding that's doing it for 12 games.
That's what I mean.
You know what I mean?
I don't know if it matters this year, but I think it matters next year and the year after that, and you know what I mean? Like
you're talking, yeah, because you're talking about the ramifications of actually doing this again in the portal and doing this again. Yeah, no, I don't.
Kiffin is special at this stuff, man.
Let me ask you this, too. Is Ole Miss? I mean, not Ole Miss. Is Oklahoma kind of like the sneaky pick that some folks want to take, but they're holding back because they don't trust Venables?
100%.
Yeah,
I have them at 6 behind Ole Miss, LSU, and A&M. It's because I don't trust Venables as much as the other ones. They also lost some. They lost R. Mason Thomas and Gracie Holton off their defensive front. They lost some other people. Like their defensive front was real good last year, and they lost some pretty talented pieces off the defense. I think the offense, and again, also like Alabama, could not find balance in a traditional running sense. So I don't have a lot of questions about Oklahoma, but I don't know how much upside they have either.
I agree with that. It's hard for me to disagree, but at the same time, I look at what the offense can do with a consistent quarterback where you're not having to worry about the injury part. Like there are certain things that Oklahoma can do. But again, I look back to at times last year, even with John, they just seemed disorganized. So I'm curious to see how Venables puts that together this year. And I would say too, like Venables' seat, my man.
I know. If they go 4-4 to start the year, I agree.
Like folks out there are talking about Josh Heupel's seat. Like Venables is that? Well, oh man, wouldn't that work out?
Josh Heupel's seat is not hot. Come on.
I'm not talking about like me personally saying that. I'm
here you go.
Overarching conversation.
Okay, no, that's fair. That's fair.
Somebody that lives around the town and can tune into the sports radio station every now and then if I get a signal. Yeah, it's a little bit of a catastrophe.
So here's what's interesting. You've got Oklahoma in their first 5 games. They're at Michigan in week 2, at Georgia in week 4.
Yep.
Then they're off, of course, before the Red River Shootout. So in theory, you could be 2-3 to start the season. Now it lightens up significantly. You go Kentucky, Mississippi State, South Carolina, Florida, and then you end with 3 tricky ones: Ole Miss, A&M, and Missouri. But basically, front loaded in conference with big games, kind of a soft middle in October, and then a couple of tough ones at the end. But like you could be 2-3 going into Kentucky, Mississippi State. The problem is you probably win those 2. But if you were to slip up against Mississippi State on the road or Florida on the road, and all of a sudden you're 3-3 or 4-3, and then all of a sudden you're looking at Ole Miss and A&M, I could see the fans being restless, and the natives being restless in Norman. Yeah.
Just coming off what we saw last year, where before Tuscaloosa, everything was going to hell in a handbasket, in a sense, when it comes to the fan side. Yeah. So, and then, I know we're about to get on a few other teams, but I like what you're talking about when it comes to that tier. I think, wrapping up this part, I think Ole Miss is the squad that you watch this year to maybe break through that. Not saying that they're going to make the title. I'm just.
So rank those 5.
Hit that over.
Is there any other team you'd put on that tier? Would you put Tennessee up there? Would you put Missouri up there? South Carolina, Florida, or is that another tier?
In a weird way, I really want to put Florida there. I don't know why. I'm not trying to get sucked into the John Summerall. I like John.
Yeah, you are.
Good guy, good coach.
Yeah, you are. All right, so rank those 5. A&M. So I have A&M 3, LSU 4, Ole Miss 5, Oklahoma 6, Alabama 7, and I trust Mike Elko and Lane Kiffin the most. So it's why I put those 2 at the top. I trust Ole Miss's talent and to be good enough this year. And then I just Oklahoma and Alabama could be very, very good, but I think they're at the bottom of that group, and I could be totally wrong about that. So
I switch Oklahoma and Alabama, in my opinion.
So, but basically the same.
I mean, yeah, basically the same. I mean, it's kind of hit and miss right there with your win totals, but yeah, I would switch Oklahoma and Alabama, and I think Ole Miss pulls off 9 wins this year. So
I think that's totally possible. Yeah, I could see them all making the playoff, all 5 of those teams.
And I've already booked a hotel in Oxford for the September 19th game.
Attaboy. All right, I'm going to go to the very bottom here. Who's on the bottom tier? Because there's only 3 teams. According to Vegas, there are 3 teams with 4.5 wins: Mississippi State, Kentucky, and Arkansas. 4.5, 4.5, 4.5. Everyone else is over 6.5 or up. Would you put anyone else on that bottom tier? Are those the bottom 3 teams? And how would you rank them?
Which we just talked about Arkansas, Kentucky, and Mississippi State. I mean,
is there any other team down there with those 3?
Vanderbilt's sitting around 5.5. I think
I think Vanderbilt's up in the next group.
Yeah, no. I know that. I'm trying to decide if I want to put them down in that area. Is what I'm getting at. No, I'm kind of right there with what this offshore betting company is putting out there. I do think Kentucky, though. I can't put them in that tier, Braden, but I do think Kentucky is like 6 or 7 win team this year.
So Kentucky's who I've got at 14.
Right.
I've got Mississippi State at 15 and Arkansas at 16.
Yeah, I don't disagree with you on that. I think Arkansas is going to have a lot of problems this year. Mississippi State, talk about coaches that could potentially.
I like Kentucky's plan. I don't know how much it delivers this year.
Yeah, you don't think they can execute it in a full sense this year, but in the future, yeah, there's an opportunity. I don't disagree.
And I don't know what, like, that's just kind of how I feel about it. Like, I really like what they're doing. Like, I like.
Oh, Will has done his thing. Like, if you're going to win spring, win the spring, Kentucky did a really good job of that. They got folks to stop talking. Well, it's hard to stop talking about Mark Pope when you put yourself on Twitter asking people questions that to be submitted. But
they had athletic director. They had the whole Barnhart scandal with his new job. Like, there's been a lot of distraction. I think Stein's done. How about this? They go Youngstown State to start, of course, easy dub. But they go Bama A&M in week 2 and 3. Then they got to go. Then they got South Al, your boys.
Where are those games at? Bama's at
home and A&M's on the road. And then they got South Al, but then they do at South Carolina, LSU, at Oklahoma. So in the first 6 games, they're going to play Bama, A&M, LSU, and Oklahoma, 4 teams that are all in that tier we just talked about. So not Texas.
Don't overlook the South Alabama Jaguars either.
No, not Texas and not Georgia, but they got 4 of that top tier. And then they finish with Tennessee, Florida, Missouri, and Louisville, all quality football teams.
Mercy.
With Vanderbilt in the middle. I think they can get to – I think they can hit the over on 4.5. But I think that would be. I think 5 wins would be considered a very good year. I think
you're going to have to sneak 2 wins out of that back 5.
Yeah. That's right. You beat Vanderbilt and you beat Louisville at home. It might do all right. All right. So let's then talk through this next group. This is fascinating because I want to know because it sounds like you like Florida. So Florida.
Okay. All right.
Well, Florida and Tennessee have 7.5 wins. Yeah. The other 4 teams in this conversation: Missouri, South Carolina, Vanderbilt, and Auburn. All have 6.5 over/under win totals right now. Again, I'm just going with this random offshore thing that's consistent. So the odds makers
runner with Ben Affleck and Justin Timberlake. But keep going. Sorry.
The odds makers like Tennessee and Florida the most. Before we do, I want to remind everybody, of course, Yazoo Brewing Company up on the river, Cumberland River. It's a great place to go sit and have a beer and relax your mind and your body and your soul and your spirit. Go sit there and have an original Yazoo Gerst or Yazoo Dos Perros or Yazoo Pale Ale, the original OG craft brewer in Nashville, Tennessee. Started in 2003 and kind of got this entire craft beer revolution taking place in Nashville. Started, and it's a really great place to go hang. It's like 15 minutes from downtown. You can sit right there on a big bench overlooking the whole river. You got trees and dogs running around and kids are everywhere. It's just great. They got Grill Shack burgers and fries. Yazoo Brewing Company, great place to go hang.
And they got your THC infused alcohol.
I don't know. I think they do. I don't know if they do.
I thought I looked up at the menu and they did.
East Nashville Beer Works makes its own THC, which is kind of interesting. That's also a part of this. We'll talk about East Nashville Beer Works in a second. So
here's how they do that. All right, keep going.
Yeah, right, exactly. Tennessee Brew Works and Yazoo Brewing Company. Make sure you go check them out. All right. The odds makers like Tennessee and Florida the best out of this group. Is that where you're at? Who do you like the best out of this group?
Oh man, like Florida over Tennessee in that group, and here's the reason why. I'm prefacing this. I have no idea what to expect from Tennessee. I was talking to somebody yesterday about this. The Tennessee quarterback situation. Like I understand the new defense with Jim Knowles. And usually that's a 2-year project. I think they've done. I think Josh Heupel did really well bringing in Derek Wingup from the Indiana Hoosiers as your strength and conditioning coach. I think they're going to be a much more physical team, though it's hard to do that within a 9-month period. Here's where I'm going. I think when you line Faison Brandon and George McIntyre up, I think Faison's going to be your starting quarterback. I think, yeah, I do.
Over George McIntyre.
Yeah, I do. It's going to be, it's going to take an effort from McIntyre to win over, in my opinion. I don't want to say the locker room, but
okay.
He needs to have a fantastic summer with no problems and a first week of fall camp, I think, to take that job. You know what it reminds me of?
I like their start, though. They go Furman, Georgia Tech, Kennesaw State. Georgia Tech's a good team, but they're losing everybody.
I like that. Bobby Dodd and lose that game.
I hear you, but they lose Buster Faulkner, they lose Haynes King, they lose a lot. So
no. I'm not saying they're going to lose. I'm saying that is just the point of emphasis. Okay. I think that, again, I'm going to go Faison Brandon. I think is going to be the starting quarterback. I know it is May 8th. Okay, but
why do you keep saying his last name first?
I don't know.
I'm curious. Faison, Brandon.
Yeah, it's kind of, well. I'll be honest with you. Why I did it just because I wrote an article and I was doing different quarterback comparisons and I was naming them, so that would add the Brandon Faison and
Brandon Faison, George McIntyre. I think McIntyre, George is going to win the job.
There's a reason why I was doing that. Thanks to ChatGPT. Look. Tennessee's offense. Here's my biggest thing, Braden. I know you get a kick out of that, and I was kind of effing with you for a minute. Do you think the offensive line for them is better compared to what Florida's bringing back?
So,
do you think the offensive unit as a whole is better? And there's a reason why I'm asking this question. If you had to give it right now, who do you go to?
You mean Florida versus Tennessee?
Yeah.
I like the running game better. I like the coordinator better. I like the running game better. I like the quarterback better, I think, at Florida. I like I think Jim Knowles is maybe the difference here, but that's not what you asked. You asked about offense. I trust the offense a little bit more, but Heupel's offense is so dependable. Like, it's hard to argue that Heupel's offense isn't going to be a certain quality of good, you know?
I think they differentiate and go away from that pro style they were trying to run a little bit under Joey Aguilar last year, but that was more because they had to do something different with that offense.
Yeah.
I think, look, there's going to be, if Tennessee can run the football, it's going to take a lot of pressure off the quarterbacks and especially the front. You know, it reminds me back in the day when Eric Ainge and Brent Schaefer were trading snaps for the first couple of games and they made a decision. I don't even know if it gets to that point.
Brent Schaefer.
Right. I know. I'm kind of in agreement with you. I'm trying to talk myself.
I haven't given you. I said Vegas likes Tennessee. No. Let me give you mine.
Yeah.
The schedule's hard, but is Missouri not the most dependable team in all these teams right now? They're going to go for their 4th straight 8+ win season. I know Tennessee's in the same boat.
I'm not doubting Eli.
Austin Simmons transferring in, yes. They are consistently as good as any of these teams. South Carolina, I think, could be. South Carolina has the most upside of all of these teams.
That's my team.
I would have Missouri and South Carolina ahead of Tennessee and Florida right now, and that sounds crazy, but I have Missouri 8, South Carolina 9, and then I've got Florida, Tennessee 10 and 11. I have Auburn at 12, and I've got Vanderbilt at the bottom of this list at 13. So make your case for South Carolina, because I think this is a fascinating group of teams. Like, somebody's going to be real bad and somebody's going to be real good, and then the other ones are all going to be like 7-5. So you tell me which one you love. You agree that Vanderbilt's at the bottom, right? Can we put Vanderbilt at 12 or 13?
I can put Vanderbilt there.
Because I think Jared Curtis is very talented and is going to be in for a rude awakening in the SEC. It's going to take him some time, but I think once he gets it, he'll be very good. I just think it's going to take him some time. I think Pavia was that special for them. And, you're losing Stowers and a bunch of other pieces on that very veteran team. I would go Vanderbilt 13, but still very good team. Still a bowl team, still above 6 wins. Like, I think it's a good football team. But who you like South Carolina the best out of all these teams? Is that what you're telling me?
Man, yeah, I'm going to take the leap. I do.
Put that hand back on the burner, my guy.
I know that. I do. I think South Carolina can break through this year.
They need to.
That's not a jump. I like what the offensive side does. I really enjoy what they have on defense. I don't want to be set up for the letdown with South Carolina, but I do think that they have the opportunity to cause some havoc in the SEC this year. I'm sorry. I mean, do they have? Okay, let me ask you this: out of all those teams we just named, who's got the best quarterback?
South Carolina. Who's got the best pass rusher?
South Carolina.
South Carolina.
Right.
Who has the best start to the season? Kent State, Towson, Mississippi State. That's 3-0 right there. They got Kentucky, Florida.
I'm sorry, season ticket holders. That's terrible, but go ahead.
Well, they got Bama, Kentucky, and Florida. So in their first 5 games before their bye week, they have one ranked opponent on paper.
Yep.
And that's at Bama, and then the next hardest game is at Florida. They could easily be 4-1. South Carolina's schedule always seems to start slow. They go Tennessee, Oklahoma, A&M. That's real tough.
Yes.
Arkansas, Georgia. Georgia's real tough. At Clemson, no idea really what Clemson is going to be, but they're losing a ton of starting players. So probably better by the end of the year, but that's a team that was way, way, way underachieving. And like I'm looking at this, like, yes, they have to play Georgia, and yes, they have to play A&M, but of our top teams, they do not play LSU. They do not play Texas. They do not play Ole Miss, and they do not play. They do have Oklahoma and Alabama. Okay, so they miss Georgia. Sorry, they miss Texas, LSU, and Ole Miss. That's 3 of the top 5 teams in my boat. So they got Arkansas on there. They got Kentucky on there. They got Mississippi State on there.
Repeat that one more time. They've missed LSU.
They miss LSU, Texas, and Ole Miss, and they get the 3 worst teams: Kentucky, Mississippi State, and Arkansas.
I mean, if you can't take advantage of that,
good schedule. Yeah, with sellers. Yeah,
schedule. I mean,
so am I crazy for having Missouri and South Carolina ahead of Tennessee and Florida?
No, I don't think so. I think there are too many questions with Tennessee and Florida right now, and I think the questions are answered at the other schools. It's South Carolina and Missouri.
Yeah.
I mean, the quarterback situation, running back situation, defensive line situation. Mm-hmm. I look at it and I think, and I really want to take South Carolina out of that group, if I'm being very honest.
Oh, you want to move them up?
Yeah.
You're not that crazy.
I'm not that crazy. I'm not trying to go
early in the morning
and all that stuff. And it's too early in the morning and I've only had 3 cups of coffee, but I'm saying that there is an opportunity, what I'm saying, with that schedule. That's all I'm getting at. Can they take advantage? Lenore Sellers has the potential to be, SEC Offensive Player of the Year. I said chance. Please, people, don't go.
Dude, he's got a chance to be a Heisman contender. It's not that crazy.
I know that. I'm not.
You're not crazy at all. No.
I know that. I think the biggest thing also is, and I think you're going to agree with me here, that when there's, and this is the day and age of college football, brother, when you're making so many moves and you're getting into a new system and you're bringing in so many new players, you got to see if they adapt to that system. Like Tennessee is dealing that right now with Coleman, for Penn State on defensive line. You don't know exactly what is happening and going on. So, but I say all that to say this: South Carolina has enough veteran presence, I think, to make some noise.
I totally agree with you. I think they're dangerous. That leaves Auburn as the only team we haven't really talked about. We haven't really talked about Arkansas or Mississippi State either. But
Golish has done a really good job of kind of changing a narrative in a short time period without actually playing any games on the field, if that makes sense.
You're not allowed to have anything red in the facility. Do you see that?
Even the Kool-Aid?
No Gatorade.
The Gatorade?
Yeah,
nothing. They're playing Dixieland Delight during practices. Like, and here's it. Like, people out there are like, why is he? Look, Golish understands SEC football. Okay?
Yeah, he does.
So,
he does.
You know.
Yes, he does.
I don't blame them for doing this. And he also, let me give a little hint out there for people. This is also for a lot of PR stuff when he does this sort of thing.
Yeah,
so
of course it is. Of course it is.
Just take it for what it's worth.
Of course it is. All right. So my order, I want you to tell me what you think. My order, Missouri 8, South Carolina 9. I could be fine flipping those and putting South Carolina at 8, but that seems risky. Tennessee 10, Florida 11, Auburn 12, Vanderbilt 13, Kentucky 15, Kentucky 14, Mississippi State 15, Arkansas 16. Missouri, South Carolina, Tennessee, Florida, Auburn, in that order.
I would
poke your holes. Poke holes.
I would only switch South Carolina with Missouri.
Okay, you go up.
Okay. Yeah, and I would give me those last two. I'm sorry.
Missouri 8, South Carolina 9.
Yep.
Tennessee 10.
Yep.
Florida 11. Auburn 12. That would be my order.
Switching Florida with Tennessee, keeping Auburn where they're at, and putting Missouri. I'm sorry, South Carolina.
So you go South Carolina up, Florida up. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Look, I think that there's two teams that can win the whole thing, the whole natty. I think it's Georgia and Texas. I think there are 7 teams that could win the SEC championship and make the playoffs. I think there's 5 really good, above 500, kind of 7-8 win teams that, if things go right, could contend for a playoff spot. And that's Missouri, South Carolina, Tennessee, Florida, and Auburn. And then I am kind of with you. I think Vanderbilt's clearly at the bottom of that list. I don't think they're on the bottom tier because I think they're better at football. But I do think Kentucky, Mississippi State, and Arkansas are your last 3. And we didn't really talk much about Mississippi State. I mean, isn't what did we at year 3 with Jeff Lebby? Shouldn't he be above the 15th best team in our conversations right now? Like Ryan Silverfield being in year 1 with Arkansas on that roster, I have I expect them to be really bad.
I have no expectations for Arkansas this year. And so, AKA Razorback fans, you can surprise me. Jeff Lebby has been in that conversation, my man, for a minute now, and I don't know how much longer State can handle that and do that if we're having this conversation, Braden, in November. But the other thing is, who are you going to go in and get? You're going to go the G5 route. Like, I'm just Mississippi State's going to have to prove a lot of things this year.
I think Mississippi State needs like a Willie Fritz.
Yes.
Like an old dude who's like a stabilizer who builds a floor to a certain point. I don't know.
I agree with you, and I like Jeff Lebby. I just don't know if that was the fit at Mississippi State. And so, and even bringing back, Arnett, which is just freaking insane, but whatever. You just talk about
I hear you.
Where we're at right now in college football. Jeff Lebby's gonna have to do something here. I think at the same time, let me ask you this: if we're looking at it right now, and I can go about 5-10 minutes, and I know I gave you something else, but if you're looking at it right now, who are your let's just say top 3 coaches on the hot seat heading into the season?
Kalen DeBoer, Alabama.
Yep. Even with his okay.
Well, this is not this. Okay, what you're asking is not
hypothetical. I know.
You're asking going into the season who's under a lot of pressure versus who at the end of the season will be fired. I think those are different questions. I do not think
set that up better.
Well, no, I think those are different. I think those are interesting, 2 different but interesting questions. Like going into the season, because a lot of it hinges on what you think is going to happen. And if I think Alabama is going to be 10-2 and be in a playoff spot, I don't think Kalen DeBoer is going to get fired. But I think he's under the most pressure of anybody going into the season. So I would put Kalen DeBoer at 1. I think Shane Beamer is in this conversation as well because again, we both think South Carolina could be pretty good this year.
Yes.
And if they are a 9-win team and challenging for a playoff spot, then he's not getting fired necessarily. But I think he's under a lot of pressure, and if things go wrong, he's out, I think, in South Carolina pretty quickly.
What do you think is?
But I think it has to be real bad, and then I think Levy's maybe number 3, probably, right?
What do you think the win total has to be for South Carolina for Beamer to stick around? And maybe I'll just rephrase this. South Carolina's got to be in at least the playoff conversation by the first week of November for Beamer to be the head coach of South Carolina in 27.
I think if it's 7-5, if they're 7-5, there's a lot of chatter about removing Shane Beamer. I think if they're 8-4,
yep,
I think he's probably fine.
Yeah,
9-3, definitely good. You know what I mean?
Yes, absolutely.
Also depends on how it looks. Like if they're 8-4, but Sellers is amazing, like then I think he fixed it. I think his problem, he's been hiring bizarro offensive coordinators for like 5 straight years. It's very strange.
Yeah, and also you have a heavy Southeastern Conference this year. I mean,
yeah, I agree with that.
Also, are you willing to fire coaches and jump into the fray? That's a whole nother conversation we'll have over the summer or whatnot. But that is.
How about this? Here's my order of hot seat going into the year.
Okay.
Number 1, Kalen DeBoer.
Yep.
Number 2, Shane Beamer.
Yep.
Number 3, Jeff Levy.
Mm-hmm.
Number 4, Brent Venables. I think those would be my 4. I don't think you could put any of the other coaches in that group. You got what, 6 new ones, right?
No, because the other coaches don't deserve or haven't time to even be in that conversation.
So there's the 6 new ones don't count. Like you're not going to like Silverfield, Stein, Golish, Summerall, and Kiffin and Golding. You're not taking those 6. They're not getting fired. Although Golding, I think, is the one that if they totally poop down their leg and it's like 4 and 8, they could be like, "Oh, we made the wrong call." Like,
you think Keith Carter would do? Okay, all right.
No, they won't. But I'm just saying, I'm taking those 6 off the board.
Yeah.
Then the other names are Clarkley at Vanderbilt. Not a chance.
Not going anywhere.
Unless something crazy happens off the field.
Carter gets a better job. Keep going.
I'm just we like to throw things out there in the late in the show.
Lamborghinis and pickup trucks and keep going.
No, that's
there's some other stuff going on.
Yeah. Vanderbilt, Clarkley. I don't think Josh Heupel or Eli Drinkowitz are even in this conversation. So, like, I wouldn't put those 3 in this conversation. I know you kind of hinted at something maybe with Tennessee if they're like 4 and 8 or 5 and 7 that maybe Tennessee gets real restless, but like they're not going to fire Josh Heupel. Like that would be so dumb. I feel like. So
no, I think it would be an AD leaving and then the coach leaving too.
That's it. I think it's DeBoer, Beamer, Levy, Venables. That's not the same thing as who do you think is going to get fired.
I know that. I'm giving you a caveat there. Play with me here. That came out wrong.
No. I hear you. I think those are the 4, and if things go wrong for those 4, I think all 4 of them could be fired. The question is, who do you think actually is bad?
Yeah,
and Mississippi State could be bad, and I think Levy could be out. If Oklahoma,
what are the grounds for Kalen DeBoer? In Europe, I want your opinion. The grounds when it comes to a record for Kalen DeBoer.
I have them at 7th in the conference in my power rankings. If they finish 7th in the conference, that means they're probably 8-4.
And rethinking that extension that's
not a good look.
4 months after the season was over.
Yeah, it's not a good look. 4 losses this year. 3 losses, maybe.
Well, I could have took the Michigan job, but I wanted to.
I think he could survive 3 losses. I don't know if he survives 4 losses.
And I like Kalen. I like Kalen. Kalen is.
I think he's a very good offensive mind.
Right. Yes.
And a proven head coach mostly everywhere he's been. It may not be good enough for Alabama, which is another thing altogether. So they go East Carolina, Kentucky, Florida State at home. I imagine that Florida State home game after 2 warm-up games. If you beat Kentucky on the road, I would assume they're exercising some demons against Florida State. Then they go South Carolina, Mississippi State. Like, that's a pretty easy start to the season. You could go 5-0. Then you go Georgia, Tennessee, A&M, LSU. That's real tough in October. So Alabama's October. They've got time to build to it. And then you're Vanderbilt, Chattanooga, Auburn. Like, they 5-0 plus 3-0 at the end. I mean, that's 8 right there. Like, there's no excuse for them not to be probably 10-2.
I don't disagree, but I do think that there could be a situation in Tuscaloosa the same way that we were having a conversation heading into the Iron Bowl last year.
Yeah, I agree. No, I think he's I think he's number one on the hot seat, man.
Yeah.
I think he's a ton
Even
of
with
pressure.
his fat extension.
Yeah.
Like
That doesn't mean anything.
No, it doesn't mean anything. You know,
they're not worth the paper they're printed on, man.
Mitigating buyouts. Agents. There will be Jimmy Sexton holding court in Destin in 3 weeks.
Yeah. So look, I wanted to get away from like we got voting stuff happening. We got expansion. We got the SEC Big Ten thing. We got the all the stuff that's coming out of the spring meetings in Destin here in a few weeks. They got a lot of stuff. But now that practice is behind us, I wanted to just look at this and I wanted to like sort of level set here and be like, all right, where are we at with these teams and expectations, and what does it mean before we head into sort of a break and then we get to media days in July? And I wanted to see what you thought about all this. And
I think there needs to be a PSA that's put out there for all the folks when it comes to college football playoff talk. And I'm just going to be very, very straight with you all. I'm going to give it to you in like 15 seconds. There's not a damn thing that's going to happen over the next 4 to 5 months. They got to make a decision by December 1st. I don't even know if they're going to get to that decision. And you're going to see a lot of chatter coming out of the SEC meetings and Big Ten meetings and whatnot. Like, chill out is what I'm getting at. Like, there's not going to be a change that happens overnight. So that's kind of where I'm going with that. Like, it's going to be a long 7 months if you think expansion is coming. There's my link for the day.
Okay. All right. Heard. I got you, man.
I know. But, you know, it's like, you know, the assistant coaches put out a vote that, you know, we want expansion. It's like, guys, y'all's opinion don't mean jack shit. Sorry.
What do you have at Outkick for the good folks right now?
Yeah, well, speaking of that, just put out a piece of how they don't have power and how the expansion in college football is going to take a while. And this is all about job security, and it's not about actually doing good by the players. I loved, by the way, how they put in, we're just worried about the student athletes, but then you wanted to take away one of the bye weeks. Like, what are we doing here? Like, like you want to go from 2 to 1. So
sure.
Continue following my work at foxnews.com. Like I did that one, huh? And then
is that what it is now? Is that official?
I mean, every link says Fox News on it now. So I mean, sure, you can follow me at Outkick as well.
Okay.
Having fun here. Yeah, and then we'll have spring meetings in 2.5 weeks, and until then, a lot of conversation, a little baseball talk thrown in there as well. So should be fun.
So East Nashville Beer Works, Tennessee Brew Works, Yazoo Brewing Company are great, amazing sponsors. What is your
by the way?
What type? What? Say that again.
I gotta get one of those hats, by the way.
Hey, this is East Nashville Beer Works. Looks like East Tennessee State, but it's not. I'll get you one. I know people.
I'll get you one of these Garth Brooks hats.
No, I'm good.
Oh, damn it!
I'm a Trisha guy.
Okay, let me. No,
look. I know it's sacrilege. It's sacrilege, but I saw him live. Like me and my wife went and saw him at Bridgestone here like 2 years ago. Trisha was way better than he was. Sorry, Sorry, dude.
I'll get you a Chris Gaines hat.
He works his butt off. I got nothing but respect for him. He runs around out there like a total lunatic. I give him tons of credit. He's a great dude. I am not anti-Garth at all. But he is not up there singing bars, man. It is Trisha that's singing the bars.
No, I don't disagree with that. I think it's because I went to so many concerts in the 90s with him, thanks to my parents. So
I'm sure he was, and I'm sure it's because he's real old.
You used to come up through pianos and like secret areas of the stage to open a concert. Like, man, I feel that, Garth. You're still my boy.
What is I'm asking you
hot take alert. The Chris Gaines album was one of the best things Garth Brooks has ever done.
All right, stop talking about Garth. Talk about our sponsor. I want to know what type of beer you're sitting at Destin. You got your feet in the sand. You're nice and relaxed. You've had a long day at work, and you brought some beer from Nashville, Tennessee, from one of these 3 breweries. I want to know what type. Are you a lager guy? Are you a Pilsner guy? Are you an IPA guy? Are you a red ale guy? Are you a dark beer guy? Like, what is it you're drinking when you're relaxing?
Don't want anything too very heavy.
Okay.
A Pilsner would be nice.
Okay.
If you have recommendations and can send over, I would appreciate it.
Sure.
Or I can pick up down there. Yes. And I I'm a little bit more high end than Newcastle and these others. So
I hear you.
The IPA,
So East Nashville Beer Works, you got the Tennessee Sipper, which is a golden light ale. Make sure you check that one out. If you're into sours, which is a good summer thing to drink, they've got the fruited sour, which is a lime and strawberry fruited sour this year. Sour season, which is a great one. They got the Miro Miel, which is one of their signature. It's a honey blonde ale, so it's not a Pilsner or a lager, but it's light. And honestly, one of my favorite is their Citra IPA, their East Bank, but that is an IPA. It's definitely a West Coast IPA. It's not an East Coast IPA, but it is a light kind of like has some like lemon to it, some citrus to it. It's a very easy drinking West Coast IPA. So East Nashville Beer Works is big on sort of light, crushable, delicious summer beers. Go check them out. Obviously, all the other two, Yazoo Brewing Company, Tennessee Beer Works, have a lot of great. Tennessee Brew Works, excuse me, have a lot of great.
How you said crushable.
They're very. That's their term, crushable.
Yeah,
if you can drink 3 or 4 of them at 43 years old, that's crushable beer.
Dude, I might be about into like 2.
I had
my limit.
I had a glass of wine at a work dinner last night, and then I came home and had like one little topper with a little brown water, and like I woke up out of whack today.
Bro, I had to
drink 2 drinks. What am I doing?
I have the drink capacity of a 5-year-old now. Like I can't do it.
I do like my beer though, dude. I'm in beer season though, man. Like this is the beer time of year in Tennessee. It's hot outside. It's good beer. And by the way, East Nashville Beer Works Friday afternoons. They only have like 1 or 2 left. East Nashville Beer Works does Fridays by the river, where you can go down to Shelby Park, down by the river. There's a band, there's a stage, there's beer trucks, there's food trucks. The kids are running around. It's music and food and beer. It's great. All of it's it's a charity event to benefit Friends of Shelby. So East Nashville Beer Works always putting their community where their beer is, as it were. So there you go.
You'll appreciate this. My uncle's 80th birthday party this past weekend, 80 years old. My man's still kicking. Not beer related, but he did throw around a bunch of shots of Pappy, which was the first time ever having that.
Really?
First time.
I have.
It hit me like a ton of bricks too.
I have in the back of my cabinet the way I would collect a Ken Griffey Jr. Upper Deck rookie card.
Yeah.
In 1989. I have a 10, a 12, and a 15 in the back of the cabinet. None of them are open.
Wow. Yeah, he cracked that bad boy open, and it felt like I could breathe fire like a dragon once it was done.
I do have an extra 10 where I got like this much after a charity event, and I've got that much left in the bottle. So when you come into town, you can have some 10 with me, okay?
I'll be there in 2 weeks.
And some beer from all of our great and amazing beer sponsors.
I tried the citrus, by the way.
Yeah, East Bank Citra IPA, very delicious. It's the one I've got in the fridge right now. So there you go. All right, man. Foxnews.com. It's for the website to follow all of Trey's work. You can get to me, of course, at Braden Gall. Please rate, review, subscribe, and share the show. And check out all the other great stuff covering Tennessee sports on the 440 Sports YouTube page. We do appreciate all of that. For Trey, I'm Braden. Thanks for listening. We'll talk to you next time.